Let's co-create the shared vision for shared mobility.
World Auto Forum presents Yellow Plate Dialogues powered by Skoda.
And without any further ado, let me disclose the title for this one, Sutras of Fleet Business, which is to maximize profitability, customers' acquisition, satisfaction and retention, internal and external ETS, car rental, vehicle lease and subscription. And I would like to invite our panelists for this one. The first one to begin with is Mr. Satish Sehrawat, sir. Owner, 10 Travels and President, ITTA. Mr. Satish is a result-driven professional known for his strong leadership, strategic vision and commitment to excellence, which we have seen already. With demonstrated success in streamlining operations, enhancing productivity and driving growth, he excels at transforming challenges into opportunities and building high-performing teams that deliver measurable impact. When I stop, when I look at you, I expect you all to help me with the proceedings of the day in a louder fashion for the time being. Thank you. Thank you and welcome, sir. Next, I would like to call on stage Mr. Rajesh Loomba, Chairman Eco Mobility. Welcome, sir. He leads with a focus on operational excellence, safety and innovation. He has driven the company's growth in corporate car rentals and employee transport, building trusted relationships and delivering exceptional service. His vision ensures eco-mobility remains a leader in ground transportation across India. Welcome, sir. And you have been sitting for too long, I guess. Thank you. Next, let me call forward Mr. Sachin Punni, Director, Volercars. Welcome, sir. He is a passionate leader in urban mobility, my apologies, electric vehicles and self-drive innovations. With expertise in transport, analytics and strategic plans, he has steered Volercars, exemplifying resilience, vision and commitment to shaping India's future of sustainable mobility and shared transportation. Thank you. Here, let me invite Mr. Hari Kaushik with a lot of pleasure, CEO WTI Fleet Pro. Welcome, sir. He has a very endearing smile, let me tell you. He is an automobile enthusiast with 34 plus years of experience and expertise in automotive services, lease financing, business management and customer service, driving innovation and excellence in fleet solutions while fostering sustainable business growth. Lovely. And next, I would like to call forward Mr. Sandeep Gambhir, CEO, Vertelo. Welcome, sir. He is the CEO, as I just mentioned, and a chartered accountant as well, bringing 27 plus years of leadership at Barclays and Orix, India, ORIX, India. Skilled in financial strategy, auto leasing and EV ecosystems, he is recognized for driving turnarounds, building resilient teams and steering organizations towards sustainable growth and innovation. Lovely. And here, the chair, the gardener for all of you once again, Mr. Anuj Guglani, founder and CEO, WAF Group, sir. Now, one compounding loud sound of your claps for all our panelists before we delve deeper. And over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Deepthi. And friends, so we have our caffeine intake, water in, water out. So we're all charged up, activated for the panel 2. और यहाँ पे हम करेंगे mostly, we'll try, धंधे की बात, all right? Because ease of doing business and compliances, this, that, we've all seen. And Satish ji was firing all guns as we saw. And it's going to fire more guns blazing in this session too. So we are going to talk about success sutras of fleet business. So as I had mentioned earlier also, so gentlemen, here you see hardly 50 people, but the main idea, the main intent is that the video of our session, which via WAF TV will reach lakhs of people, and they would get inspired by your success stories, and a main problem of their life just might get solved in a moment because you might have just given some success sutra. So that's the idea. If something can trigger them, inspire them, solve some basic practical problem of theirs, this session is a success. So let's ensure it is. So success sutras of fleet business: how to maximize profitability, customers acquisition, satisfaction, retention. Okay, acquiring customer is easy, retaining difficult. When we talk about customers, do we talk about only the external customers, or we talk about the internal customer first? As I have always appreciated Rajesh, his LinkedIn profile says Chief Driver at Eco Mobility. So that's sensitivity, ensuring that this word driver does not have a stigma. It has a sense of pride, because literally and actually they drive the business also, not just the vehicle. So how are we retaining our teams? They are the ones who get us the business. They are the ones who drive us the business. ETS, people say इसमें तो बहुत premium है, इसमें तो बहुत margin है. But what is the other side? How do you ensure you have successful and regular and compliant ETS? Then the other business models, that is car rental versus vehicle lease versus subscription. So Sandeep, if we can start with you, because I think while I was mentioning these terms, I was thinking of you only, because in all your earlier avatars and even the current one, you have been driving all these businesses. So what do you feel are the success stories, the success points, sutras, nuggets of these three businesses? How they are similar, how they are different, how should they be dealt with?
Thanks, Anuj, for having me as part of the panel. I'll relate to one discussion that I was having with a customer yesterday, and it came out as all of us, we call ourselves solution providers, but we focus more on the problem rather than the solution. When we're trying to sell solutions to customer, what we try and do is we break it into parts. What the customer is looking at, so I've moved into a different space. I was the CEO of Oryx before this, so all these words were very, very familiar: car rental, leasing, subscription. Now I moved into a different place, which is even more unique, setting up India's largest fleet electrification platform. And there some of these questions become even more relevant because the problem statement is much bigger there. And what we realized there is, if you try and get the customer to focus more on the problems, you're drifting away from the solution even further. As solution providers, whether coming back to your context, whether it's a rental, whether it's what is it that we're all doing, we're moving people from one place to the other. That's the problem that we're trying to solve. The ways of doing that could be leasing, subscription, buying it upfront, loan, or car rental. And that is what we have to tell the customer, that we are giving you a solution which will take care of the issues at hand. When we talk about, let's say, the electrification, where will you get the power from? Will the vehicle have charging enough? Do you have end point and midpoint charging available? I think those are, rather than focusing on those aspects, you give a peace of mind to the customer. I will make sure I understand your use case well. I've done enough research on what you want to do, what kind of asset is suitable, what kind of solution I need to provide along with that, which helps you to take care of the problem at hand. I think that is what is more relevant. Leasing, subscription, it's actually, these are misnomers. I mean, we are using words or packaging. Subscription, for people, I know we were the first ones in the country to do subscription, but it's an oversold product. It was nothing but advertising short-term leasing. It's still a part of leasing. It's nothing but short-term leasing. You're, instead of taking a car and getting stuck with it for a couple of months or a couple of years, you're taking it for a couple of hours. It's short-term rental. Rajesh would know that very well. You're doing car rental, you remove the driver out of it and give it to somebody for a few hours. That's what subscription is. So what we are doing is we are trying to curate names to try and catch a particular segment. And some of these are very, very relevant. But what I'm trying to tell you is the heart of the problem still remains the same. You understand what the customer wants and try and package it well, and obviously commercially make it more viable for the guys to, the success of any proposition lies in embracement of the same by customers, and it's continuous embracement, not just making something very attractive and making a sale happen. But like you said, it's not just identifying the internal customer and making the sale happen, but the external customers and retaining the customers is even, and retention is happening through service. It never happens. So there's a lot of effort people put in terms of making sales happen. And if you look at leasing companies across the country right now, if you look at their penetration rates in clients that they've onboarded, you will be surprised. Leasing otherwise itself in the country has only 2% penetration. But if you look at the population of corporates, the corporates that have been signed, and within that corporate, how many people have actually taken leasing is even lesser, which tells you that companies are spending more time on the sales activity, lesser on the service. The more time you spend on the service, dig deeper into the relationships, there's far more value there than trying and spending months to acquire a new customer.
I couldn't agree more on that. In fact, when you talk about subscription or like a short-term lease, I also subscribed a car, for a while. Because I was not sure which car to go for. Okay, family mein nobody was sure which car to go. Every car they would reject. Then I thought, okay, let's just subscribe something. What I observed, when the car went for servicing twice, the owner, the business partner would take the car for service, and he would take it to his local garage only, as Satish mentioned. So I would say, I want a genuine lube, or I want synthetic lube, I want nice service. They'll say, yahan to hamare yahan pe hogi. So that I felt, if you really love your machine, you would prefer it goes to the workshop, a proper workshop. So there I felt little, this thing. Plus the support of, मुझे घूरे मुझे डर लग रहा है. And the support of, they say the tires are going bad, or the thickness is going down, the tread. So if you say ये change कर दो, so you have to kind of little push it कि ये change कर दो. So such practical aspects, then person think यार सच अपनी गाड़ी ले लेते यार, at least you don't have to keep requesting. So as you mentioned Sandeep, that it has to be win-win, there has to be service. So अगर वो मेरे एक कहने पे अगर वो चीज़ें हो जाती, I would have perhaps retained the car, I would have not even bought the car. अरे ऐसे चलते रहो ना यार. There's no hang-up, there's no ownership, no asset light. There is option. अभी 6 महीने एक गाड़ी है, 6 महीने दूसरी गाड़ी है. But then this hassle, am I in a safe car? With lube, is it genuine? Tires, tread is going bad. So such practical issues also, kind of stop growth of a segment. Anything on that?
No, I think it depends upon the kind of corporate that you're dealing with. Frankly, the problem, you should, as a customer, not telling that my car is not working well. There is a maintenance team that, bigger organizations have at the back end who take care of these in any case. If you deal with, see again, subscription as a product is meant for short-term needs. It can range from a day to a week to a month, maximum 3 months. Generally, people don't go in for 6 months, 12 months. And if you go in for that, you necessarily don't want to get tied into something. You would necessarily keep changing. And most organizations that are in the organized space there would have their back-end machineries telling you the cars go through a periodic maintenance. They would be coming and telling you that the car is due for a tire change rather than you telling them.
So that I felt as a customer is a gap, is a disconnect. Yeah. They were actually not getting into it. They should have. So वही आपका point है, the service. How well you are supporting service to the customer. So Hari bhai, coming to you, so you are one of the partners for Uber Black, and I simply love Uber Black. It's my preferred set of wheels. But कई बार ऐसे क्या होता है in terms of urgency. Like I'll give you again a practical example. I use Uber Black a lot. अब उसमें जो आपकी जो urban high rider, the Toyota car, उसमें the way they put the CNG tank, they have the rear seat back. उसको एकदम सीधा कर दिया है. क्यों? क्योंकि वहाँ पे CNG टैंक आना है. So somehow no one thought about the poor customer who has to sit on that seat. वो ऐसे बैठा होता है. In some cases it's even worse. वहाँ पे कुछ gap और दे दिया, वहाँ सामान घुसाया हुआ. I sat in so many urban high riders, not just your company, many. So either it could be a legislation compliance issue that the NCR or whichever government has asked them to do it like that. But somewhere I also felt there was non-application of some mind. That customer sensitivity was not there. It was more like फटाफट लगा दो. So are we really graduating to that customer experience also when we are trying to offer a premium service, talking about retaining and acquiring customers? Something on that?
Thank you very much, Anuj, for bringing out this topic and me on this platform. Yes, your points are very valid. These cars, what we chose, are OEM fitted CNG kits. like we never did a retrofitment. So I hope that the OEMs would have taken due diligence, all precautions while doing this, but certainly these are unease for customer, and especially when from the airport the customers board these cabs, sometimes we face difficulty in housing 3-4 big suitcases. If you remember, we had started our journey of Uber Black from Mumbai using the MGZS electric cars. Those were fantastic cars, and later on, because of the price sensitivity and other factors, we had to choose other models as well. However, we are still considering the electric cars could be the best possible solution under the sustainable mobility and as a solution to this problem. However, we have to evaluate various other factors and take an informed decision, and at times our principals also play a vital role in selecting the model for us. Coming back to your basic questions, yes, the comfort for the customer is most important for us, and we take care of it at every trip when we prepare the car for the next trip. So quality maintenance and servicing, what Sandeep just mentioned, is of paramount importance to us. So what we do, most of the cars we operate from our hubs, where the cars are cleaned, maintained by our own teams. The drivers are with us, and we have tried to solve a problem, basic problem, what Vidsa mentioned, what my other colleagues mentioned, that of course dealing with 10,000 components in a telecom business or 30,000 components in a car assembly is important, where I was there and my senior Narulasa was also there. That was pretty easy to maintain those things, but difficult to maintain these two critical elements. The car is still easy, but our main pain or the main partner is our driver partner. So actually we are into driver management business, not the car. Car is very easy.
Hari bhai, in Uber Black, I would really like to hand it to you. The quality of drivers is actually next level. मतलब ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क है normal Uber and Uber Black में. The way the person interacts, the way he or she talks, their uniform, the car is not stinking of any gutka or it's not dirty. They ask you for your preference. You know, it's beautiful, and they don't keep calling you, kitna time lagega. They are patient.
Yes.
So somewhere it's the quality of people, somewhere it's quality of training. I think I actually take it for the experience. Like, yeah, paise extra hai, it's worth it.
So let me tell you, this is all about the selection process. Like in IITs and IIM, we get what? Our selection process is the best. We get best talent there. So similarly, when we select the driver partners, we do a lot of checks, including a 100% driving test for each driver partner when we induct. And you will be surprised to know that approximately 40% fail in our test.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's the kind of stringent test we do. And then we train them on behavior, on grooming, and on specific on the SOPs, how to operate the car, how to handle each ride. What I tell my team that consider your car that aircraft is turned around and prepared for each trip. Similar basis we do with our cars. Like after end of each trip, the drivers are told that you take a wipe and wipe up the seats. Spray a fragrance in the car. So each time when the customer gets in, he should get a freshness. So those kind of practices are with us.
Without a single exception, I have never entered an Uber Black which is foul smelling. Never. I would have taken more than dozens of rides. Achha, one quick question here. Now that you are charging a premium, customers are happily paying. Does it make a solid use case for EV also in Uber Black and similar price points?
Yes, it makes sense. I hear there are some areas where government has to come and help us. For example, in Bangalore, the BESCOM offers the electricity at subsidized rates, maybe at around 5 rupees 85 paisa per kilowatt, plus GST almost 8 rupees a kilowatt. Whereas in Delhi, it is around 10 to 12. In Mumbai, it is worse, around 18. So it is difficult to operate EV cars in Mumbai because operating costs are almost same, while the asset cost is up by 25% as compared to what we use. So these are some operational challenges. So we are trying to find the best solution here to be profitable, and it is the most important for us to remain profitable in this business.
Fantastic. So switching gears, Sachin, coming to you. So Volercars is, मतलब suddenly कहाँ से ये company आ गई, इतनी बड़ी भी होगी, IPO भी हो गया, आप rockstar भी बन गए, ये सब. Can you share something on your journey? And what different did you do to win the hearts and minds of the customers and get so much business?
Thank you, Anuj, for having us here. So you rightly mentioned we mostly work under the radar. You won't see any more brandings of us anywhere. You won't see much of the marketing and publicities that we do. So our journey, I would say, has been quite rough. So it was like a continuous graph, upside down, upside down. So we started in 2010 itself, with Wipro as our first client in Calcutta. Then we were known by the name of Jamuna Travels. So one regional entity starting up one corporate, just solving a problem. Like Sandeep ji said, we focus on a solution, not a problem. So problem was very simple, how to address this gap between how fleet services or probably a manpower and a fleet combination has to be offered to a corporate. So when we started from there, so first 5 years were quite good. The journey was progressive, growth was there, basis our SOPs or probably control mechanisms, we were doing good in the market. Then in 2015, we launched a self-drive vertical. We know self-drive from the early days, so that was very tough. So we heard about, government compliances, licenses, and couple of other challenges that we all see as a framework when we go forward. So self-drive was one big animal, or I would say a big elephant that we had in the picture. So that was pretty capital heavy because all the cabs had to be bought on your books. There were a lot of OEMs that we had to get on discussion platforms to get those compliances in place, those warranties in place. The GPSs had to be, very carefully administered. A lot of things came into picture. So very debt heavy, very investor heavy process that we had. So 5-6 years were pretty rough, wherein we had to, steadfast the different sort of mechanisms that run through the entire platform and industry. So in 2019, somehow we thought of, recuperating from this and understanding how we can further enhance our B2B division and get off with this retail part of the business, which is not flourishing at that point in time because insurance costs were spiraling like anything, damage costs were spiraling like anything, maintenance was skyrocketing. So in 2019, luckily we hived off that division. We sold off all our assets, like Vijay mentioned, from an asset heavy, we completely transformed to an asset light just before COVID.
Fantastic timing, man.
COVID. So I remember I took a last flight from Bombay on 23rd March. I landed in Delhi and next day was lockdown. So I was very...
without any inventory, huh?
I was completely asset light. My books were absolutely light, no debt on our books. And, while I was heavy with the parting with the product that we had developed for so heavily in 6 years, I was also, somehow happy that, we got out of the trap pretty early and right at the point when COVID hit us. So COVID was a turning point. While we hear stories of people downsizing or probably getting out of businesses in COVID, we were quite lucky in COVID because from day one, and I would say from first hour of COVID, we did not sleep. We were desperate to come back. We had suffered huge losses. The books were very heavy. So we thought of coming back. So we reached out of all our corporates that we had done, okay, you give us an opportunity and we will build a system for you at this point in time, which not only takes care of your compliances, will not only take care of the safety and security of all your employees across India. We even got into asset collection and e-collection across India. So from day one, the first hour of COVID, we kept on continuously working, build protocols. I have traveled like crazy in COVID, did whatever we could to turn around. So for 1 year of COVID was a heavy comeback for us. We built a lot of confidence in our corporate clients. We showed them, we could build solutions that long lasted. So I would also like to differ on your point when you said customer acquisition is easy. It's not easy. It's not easy, my friend.
The customer acquisition is hard.
Tough.
Retaining is harder.
Retaining is absolutely easy.
Retaining is easy,
yes, retaining is easy.
Please share the sutras for that.
Once you have
please.
acquired a customer, it is very easy to retain a customer provided you take all the right steps. You have to own your responsibilities, you have to own your job, and you keep on giving those service parameters that a corporate requires. You keep on evolving with them. It's not what we are here to offer. We have to hear the customer, what they want. What services do they require? What solutions we can build for them? You keep on doing those right steps, and I tell you, customer retention is the easiest part. Our oldest customer is 15 years old with us. From day one, we had one client. Till today, we are working with them, larger in almost every region that we work with them. We have not lost a client, I would say, out of our service aspects. There might be 1 or 2 clients we've lost in 15 years journey, but whatever clients we have worked, retention has been the easiest part of them all.
Because it takes effort and you're putting it.
It takes a lot of effort.
It takes effort.
Yes.
And then it becomes easy.
Yes. And it comes out of desperation to work. You know, when we wanted to come back, we had to seriously think on what our strategies have to be, you know, what sort of avenues we have to build, what sort of service parameters have to be there, what our partners need to look at. So while we were reaching out to more corporates, it was equally responsible for us to retain our existing customers. So those helped us, and like you rightly mentioned, that journey has been fruitful for us, and IPO this year has been really blessing. So now when we reach out to corporate, there's a more confidence in us. There's a more confidence part in when we pitch to our clients and tell them, see, we are here, we have reached this scale, we have such beautiful partners with us, you know, who've been trusting us for so long, and we have proved ourselves. So that's the way how this ecosystem has been, you know, I would say beneficial to us, and we are equally glad to contribute to it. You know, contribution can be in a think tank like this. Contribution can be in building an ecosystem like an electric ecosystem. So we've been partners with Tata Motors, you know, NITI Aayog, we've been discussing a lot of things on them, how to building an electric framework in the entire economy. While we are very less on EVs, I would say at this point in time.
What would be your composition? What would be your composition of chemistry-wise, so fuel-wise? How many EVs, how many
So
IC?
as of today, our green energy stats would stand at 10 to 15% only of the entire fleet, while we are more heavy on CNG, you know, which is also equally carbon contributor. So, but to revolutionize EV, there is a lot of things that have to be done. I think Sandeep ji here is a major contributor, and you know, trying to fix the
They are pure EV, all
fix the
form
solutions
factors.
more into that framework. So you know, EV is also one of the solutions that we need to build as an ecosystem for our corporates.
He's sitting with a war chest also. How much? 500 million USD you raised, no, recently? Yeah. $500 million he has for EV.
The moment I saw him, I immediately reached out to him. I said, sir, I want a solution.
He only writes checks.
NEFT kar denge, don't worry.
So,
Okay.
So like you also pointed out the profitability part. See, profitability is not just commercials that we do with clients. It is a lot to do with your processes. It has a lot to do with the control measures. You know, what is down the line that you are giving, what sort of associations you have on ground. So a lot of things contribute to that profitability part, you know, when you think about maximizing your revenues while the competitiveness is increasing. There is more and more push on reducing the cost at the client end. You also need to work on the unit economics at your level so that your profitability, your margins and other aspects remain intact. So a lot of factors contribute, and I am glad to inform you know that we are taking the right steps, and as an industry I would say all of us are equally competing in that, and we are healthily competing, building ecosystems where and when you know all of us can come together and do it, and it's a, I would say a very robust ecosystem that we all are building together.
Fantastic. In fact, you know, friends, Sachin की बातें सुन के ऐसा लगता है that, you know, what I've also seen, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs, startups, just start a company, but, you know, actually they are not really serious about the company. You know why I say that? Because they don't really think through it. They don't really plan through it. And even if they have done that, they don't put the effort in execution. Now just imagine what Sachin has mentioned, the nuggets he just shared for profitability. You know, all those are so important points. It's not just your profit margin, how you are saving, you know, what are your relationships, what are your tie-ups, who are your partners, what is the experience. If you have good partners, you have good experience, you have good customers, even the capital markets will accept you with the open arms, because they are your, you know, your jewels, because they trust in you. And if you put in your RHCP that these are my customers for last more than a decade, then the capital markets take you seriously. That this company has the top blue chip companies for more than a decade. So something somewhere they are doing right, and in the future also they will make it better. Hence you get a nice valuation. So it all boils down to your daily task of that effort on each and every activity. You put the effort, it will become easy. You don't put the effort, it will be difficult. So switching gears again, and now coming to one of the largest shared mobility companies of India, Eco Mobility. They IPO'd last year, and everybody knows Mr. Rajesh Loomba. So Rajesh, अभी अगर हम धंधे की बात करें, हम अलग-अलग chemistries की बात करें, you are into every segment. You are into, in fact, by the way, because I also stay in the same area, so and near the airport, so a lot of cars I see with your badging, you know. So what are the models that you are testing, applying? How much is the aggregator? How much is your own fleet? What kind of fuel chemistry? Which kind of segments? ETS, non-ETS, something on that?
Yeah, thanks Anuj for this opportunity and having us here and discussing this very relevant topic for our industry, sitting together with all the stalwarts. So Eco Eco's journey is around 50 years back. My dad started by driving a car himself, and so that is where our entire ethos and our entire culture comes from. So before you go out and acquire the clients, and talk about more spending more on marketing, sales, etc. What's really needed is to strengthen your services. And you have to focus on building that trust of the customers, especially in the one-way deal with the corporate sector. We don't say that we are out, giving out cars on rent. What we're giving is the trust, the dependability, the predictability of the service, that each and every rental is an opportunity to delight the customer and win the trust. And like what Sachin mentioned, Sandeep mentioned, our customers, if we do it the right way, handle them the right way, deliver them value, profitability takes care of itself. Because the kind of customers we deal with, especially the corporate customers, have a very high lifetime value. So what we really need to focus on is building that trust. Today's date, we need to focus on technology because that's so important to streamline our internal processes. And at different stages, what I've figured in a life cycle of a business, you need to be able to learn and transform the way you work. When you're a 100 crore company, there's a different way you should work. When you're 200 crores, there's a different way. When you, at every milestone, you really need to see, am I doing it the way I should be doing? When you're an entrepreneur and you're doing everything yourself, you're in the business. But when you reach a certain level, you have to work on the business to ensure that, everything is working seamlessly. You're deriving all the efficiencies in the system. Like Sachin mentioned, it is not just a matter of the pricing. The profitability is also a function of how efficiently you run the organization. How are you keeping your costs under control? And in this business, it's not a car rental business, it's a people management business. Unless you have a culture of people first, including your drivers, your employees, you cannot build that scale. And I believe that any business is only worth it to concentrate on if you can scale it. Otherwise, it's like a hobby. Right? Hobbies are costly. Yeah. Hobbies are costly. So, as a company, we deliberately stayed away from hobbies like, self-drive, with all due respect, with the radio taxi wave that came in, even the EV wave that came in. But because I
think you have a lot of EVs, by the way.
No, so at that point in time, people were after us that everybody is doing EVs, Blue Smart, lithium. Why aren't we doing it? So we figured it was a simple answer. If I'm running IC engine cars, do I open my own petrol pumps and CNG stations? I don't. So for EV cars, if I have to put up my own charging station, there's something wrong because I'm not in the charging business. Now things are turning, and the EV charging ecosystem is becoming, very prevalent and visible. So we have more confidence.
So do you feel that any company which is really serious about EV cab business and wants to make it scalable and not a hobby should first start building a charging network and then scale up the vehicle fleet?
I believe if you have to build a charging network for yourself, that's not the right time to do it.
It's not the right time?
No. The charging network has to be built by people in the charging business, not by people in the rental business.
Okay, so it doesn't make a use case at all?
I don't believe
to have your own charging network if you have...
I don't believe...
Sandeep, you want to add something on that particular point?
I mean, if you look at the industry data, the utilization of the public network that is available is single digit. All the CPOs are bleeding. So if the fleet operators start creating their own, the CPOs will bleed even further.
Even more.
So he's absolutely right. There is enough capacity already there. In cases where you think there is such a large fleet at one place, it may make sense.
Otherwise not.
So largely it's a mix and match. The mix and match is a very heavy bias towards public charging, very limited. I mean, depends upon the use cases. So we are doing buses, trucks. It makes sense for you to build your own depots because they are depots. Because there's not enough service infrastructure available, so your depot becomes not just a charging point, it becomes a parking point, maintenance hub, storage of spares as well. But if it is in a car, which is a very homogeneous product, I mean, somebody like us who's a fleet electrification partner, we don't really add value in a car. We play a lot of value on the bus side because we, influence the manufacturing as well. But car is an off-the-shelf product. Charging is best done, like he said. The more public network you utilize, it makes sense for the entire ecosystem because you're running, and it's, when I'm telling you single digits, it's not even crossing 7-8%.
If I have my own charging network and I have a long-term PPA with some solar grid in Rajasthan and I give it out to other third party also, would it still not be viable? Because I'll get it much cheaper.
Again, the commercials still don't add up. When you have somebody, somebody who's doing 7%, 8% utilization will be more than happy to give you a price which is still very convenient. The capex that you would spend on building your own infra is far higher than something. It's like Uberizing the charging network. No, that's what, and Hari would understand that because anything that goes with Uber, Hari understands that very well.
No, I understand
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rajesh. That's it. No, so basically, I'll just make an observation now. So, मैंने क्या देखा ना? So, I can easily vouch for eco and cars on rent because I tend to observe a lot, especially in this part of the area, especially airport pick and drop. मैंने ये देखा है कि अगर इनकी गाड़ी का स्टिकर किसी गाड़ी पर लगा हुआ ना, वो गाड़ी साफ़ होती है, वो ड्राइवर ढंग का होता है. मैंने ये चीज़ हमेशा देखी है. वो चाहे किसी भी कंपनी की गाड़ी हो, वो डिज़ायर हो, टोयोटा हो, महिंद्रा हो, VW, स्कोडा, कोई भी हो, MG हो, इनकी गाड़ी का स्टिकर लगा हुआ ना, वो गाड़ी ठीक है, वो ड्राइवर भी ठीक लगता है. यू गेट टू नो ना यार, आई माई सेल्फ यूज सो मेनी कैब्स. तो वो क्या है? दैट इज नथिंग बट अ ब्रांड विच इज बिल्ट ऑन अ प्रॉमिस. ब्रांड होता क्या है? मतलब हम यहाँ वायबिलिटी, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, बिजनेस की बातें कर रहे हैं, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इट बॉइल्स डाउन टू वॉट यू आर डूइंग डे इन एंड डे आउट. इफ यू आर डिलीवरिंग ऑन अ प्रॉमिस डे इन एंड डे आउट, यू मेड अ ब्रांड. तो मैं तो देखता हूँ यार, इको का स्टिकर है, कार्स ऑन रेंट का, यार ये गाड़ी ठीक है, वो दिखती ठीक है. तो that's something which companies are able to earn. Same thing for Uber Black. So now switching gears on this, unless you want to add something over here, is okay. Satish ji, we have saved the best for the last. So now we're ready to blaze all the guns now. So you've listened to everybody. Yeah. Now, where do you think we need to go as an industry? Because you're the president of ITTA, a very responsible, a very senior position. You're a very senior person. Where do you think we all need to go to ensure higher profitability and better earnings for ourselves, better welfare for the drivers? जैसे उस दिन मैं एक टैक्सी में जा रहा था, तो बीच में मेरे ड्राइवर साहब का फ़ोन आना शुरू हो गया. वो भाभी जी का फ़ोन आ रहा था. वो कहती वो बच्चे की ट्यूशन तुमने नहीं दी. उन्होंने गाड़ी रोकी. ही टुक परमिशन, आई सेड दो. ही पुल्ड ओवर. उन्होंने उसी टाइम पेटीएम कर दिया ट्यूशन के पैसे. तो आई आस्क्ड हिम, कहता हाँ मेरा बच्चा प्राइवेट स्कूल में जाता है, ट्यूशन भी करता है. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. मतलब he is earning enough that he is taking good care of his family. So sir, in the same direction, driver welfare, driver group insurance scheme, but तेल तो तेलों से निकलता है ना सर. CSR comes from profit. So how do we ensure we increase our earnings so that we can do these welfare things also better? Something on that, sir.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thanks for inviting me in such a beautiful forum. As Rajesh ji told, I also started with driving a cab myself. And Rajesh ke siwa, I'm the second person privileged working with Captain Loomba. मैंने उनके साथ काम किया है and maybe उनकी blessings हैं शायद कि मैं आज यहाँ बैठा हूँ. Now coming to the point, बाकी सारी ज्ञान की बातें तो मेरे पढ़े लिखे भाइयों ने बता दी. अब हम ग्राउंड लेवल पे आ जाते हैं. हाउ इट वर्क्स, हाउ टू कीप दीज कार्स क्लीन, हाइजीन एंड ऑल दैट. तो सर मैं थोड़ा सा फौजी बैकग्राउंड रखता हूँ. तो हमारे फौज में क्या होता था कि जब आप कपड़े पहन के निकलते थे तो एक बड़ा ह्यूमन साइज मिरर लगा होता था जिस पे लिखा होता था कि सी हाउ यू आर ड्रेस्ड. तो आई एम अ वेरी हार्ड बिलीवर ऑफ दैट. वही ड्राइवर ओला उबर चला रहा है तो वो ड्राइवर होता है, वही इको में आ जाता है, वो शॉफर बन जाता है. 5 स्टार होटल में चला जाता है, शॉफर बन जाता है. तो ये जर्नी क्या है? ये कुछ नहीं है, थोड़ी सी काउंसलिंग, उसका टर्नआउट. अब वो टर्नआउट वो अपने लेवल पे नहीं कर सकता. जैसा कि हमारे भाई ने बताया कि इनका प्रोसेस है एंड 40% फेल हो जाते हैं. सर उन फेलियर्स को मेरे पास भेज दिया करो, मैं उनको नेक्स्ट टाइम पास करके आपके पास भेज दूंगा.
वापस आते हैं.
नाउ व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज यू हैव टू मेक हिम फील दैट उसका जॉब कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसके साथ बैठने वाले क्लाइंट कितने इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसका टर्नआउट. जब वो ड्यूटी पे आ रहा है 2 बार आपको उसे बताना है. चलो मैं I'll take a step back. As I told you guys that we have been doing regional meets all around India. हमने पार्क एवेन्यू से एक पाउच बनवाया है, ग्रूमिंग पाउच, जिसमें शेविंग किट है, टूथब्रश है और शू पॉलिश है. ये हम जहाँ भी जा रहे हैं ड्राइवर्स ट्रेनिंग करते हैं और हर ड्राइवर को पाउच देते हैं. एंड वी आर सेइंग दैट कि ये अपनी गाड़ी में ही रखो, बिकॉज योर जॉब इज सच, यू नेवर नो कि व्हेन योर दिस ड्यूटी इज गोइंग टू लास्ट. सॉरी. बहुत जरूरी होता है ये. उसके बाद है उसके कपड़े. अगर उसे एक बार आपने लत लगा दी कि वो शीशे के सामने खड़ा होकर खुद को देखे और फिर गाड़ी में जाए, तो गंदी गाड़ी में बैठना खुद पसंद नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि उसके कपड़े बहुत साफ हैं. अगर वो गंदी गाड़ी में बैठेगा तो उसके खुद के गंदे कपड़े हो जाएंगे. तो बिफोर सिटिंग इन द कार he will ensure that his car is neat and clean. Half of the battle is won. Second thing is, as again sir told, they have their hubs. Supervision. आपकी गाड़ी गेट से बाहर निकल रही है तो वहाँ पे एक चेक बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि हम अक्सर टू ग्रैब द बिजनेस बहुत सारी चीज़ें कस्टमर को लुभाने के लिए लिख के देते हैं कि अवर कार्स आर दिस, वी हैव अम्ब्रेलास, टिश्यू पेपर्स, न्यूज़पेपर, दिस. लेकिन आधे रास्ते में जब बारिश आती है और गेस्ट कहता है कि छतरी है, तो कहता है सर आज तो नहीं लाया. तो ये जो चेक है आपका गेट पे, अगर ये चेक आपका सलीके से हो रहा है तो कस्टमर कंप्लेंट से पहले आपका गेट वाला कंप्लेन कर देगा कि इस गाड़ी में ये चीज़ें नहीं है, तो शैल आई सेंड हिम ऑन ड्यूटी और नॉट. मैं आज भी हार्ड बिलीवर हूं, सॉरी, ओला उबर ब्लैक वाइट, मैं आज भी विश्वास करता हूं, और मेरे साथ मैं आई विल इंश्योर दैट आप सब लोग भी सहमत होंगे. आपके घर में आपके किसी दोस्त की बहन, बेटी, रिश्तेदार अगर आ जाती है तो आप में से बहुत कम लोग होंगे, अगर वो बच्चा खुद बुक कर रहा है तो वो ओला उबर कर लेगा. लेकिन अगर आपको उसका अरेंजमेंट करना है तो या तो अपने जाने पहचाने किसी ट्रांसपोर्टर से, ऑपरेटर से गाड़ी मंगाओगे, या आपके नुक्कड़ पे जो टैक्सी स्टैंड है जिसके आप रोज आके मिलती हैं, आप उसे कहोगे कि यार एक गाड़ी भेज दियो, बच्ची आई हुई है घर, उसे कल दिल्ली लेके जाना है. डू यू एग्री विद मी और नॉट? दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द सेफ्टी एंड सिक्योरिटी. सबसे मेन कंसर्न है हमारी गाड़ियों में बैठ के जो पैसेंजर चल रहे हैं, हाउ सेफ दे फील. आई डोंट नो अबाउट अदर्स, बट मैं जब अपने काउंसलिंग लेता हूँ और जब मैं ड्राइवर से बात करता हूँ, मैं थोड़ा सा देसी आदमी हूँ, सोफिस्टिकेशन मेरे थोड़ी दूर से निकलती है, तो व्हाट आई से इज कि मेरी गाड़ी में जो बैठ रही हैं वो मेरी बहन बेटियाँ हैं. तो जो भी ड्राइवर चल रहा है वो सोच के चलना कि जो पीछे बैठी है वो मेरी बहन बेटी है. तो it is both the ways. You have to educate him, you have to counsel him, you have to tell him, and somewhere you have to tell him the other way around कि boss, nothing hanky panky. I generally tell them कि don't interact with your customer too much. जितना कम बात करोगे उतना सुखी रहोगे, बिकॉज यू स्टार्ट दी कन्वर्सेशन, बट वो एंड जब होती है, होते होते परेशानियां शुरू हो जाती हैं. प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, बचना, कमाना, ये बिना सारथी के नहीं हो सकता। इस धंधे को हम नहीं चलाते, हम लाते हैं। कस्टमर को कैसे रोकना है, एक ड्राइवर आपका एक कॉर्पोरेट खत्म कर सकता है। मैंने प्रैक्टिकली देखा है, एक ड्राइवर आपको एक कॉर्पोरेट दिला सकता है। राजेश लूम्बा जी की ड्यूटी करने मेरी गाड़ी गई, कॉर्पोरेट का हेड था। उसने उसको इतनी अच्छी सर्विस दी कि उतरते उसने पूछा कि यार आया तो लूम्बा की ड्यूटी है, बट गाड़ी किसकी है? बड़ी अच्छी सर्विस है। एंड जब वो ऑफिस जाता तो बोलता यार एक 10 ट्रैवल्स थी, बड़ा अच्छा ड्राइवर था, मतलब आई जस्ट लाइक देम। तो नेक्स्ट टाइम सोर्सिंग में जस्ट कीप दिस नेम ऑल्सो। सेम अगेन, कहीं मेरे ड्राइवर ने 19-20 की तो वो जाके कहता है कि यार जस्ट सैक हिम, वी डोंट वांट सच ड्राइवर्स। तो ये ड्राइवर्स हैं, ये दे आर द मेन थिंग टू रन द बिजनेस। अब समस्या क्या आती है, बहुत से अनप्रोफेशनल लोग हमारे बीच में आ गए हैं। आई एम ग्लैड, बड़े दिनों बाद बड़ी अच्छी सोफिस्टिकेटेड गैदरिंग में लोगों को मिल रहा हूं, बिकॉज आई गो टू एवरी फोरम। दे डोंट कैलकुलेट थिंग्स टू ग्रैब द बिजनेस, दे कोट एनीथिंग। दिल्ली शहर में अगर ड्राइवर रह रहा है, सस्ते से सस्ता भी मकान कहीं लेता है तो 5-7 हज़ार रुपये का कमरा मिलता है। 90% लोग ना तो पीएफ देखते हैं, ना एसआई देखते हैं, ना ये देखते हैं किसके बच्चे कहां से पलेंगे। 15,000, 18,000, कैन यू थिंक दैट यू कैन लिव इन और सर्वाइव इन दिल्ली? नो, यू कैन नॉट। तो सबसे पहली और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कि जब वो स्टीयरिंग पे बैठने जा रहा है, उसके पास बच्चे की एजुकेशन का, पेटीएम का, एटीएम का, एजुकेशन, वो प्रेशर तो नहीं है। मैंने एयर इंडिया के साथ काफ़ी टाइम काम किया है, तो वहाँ पे दे टेल कि जब कैप्टन ड्यूटी पे जा रहा है, व्हेन ही इज गोइंग टू फ्लाई, डोंट गेट इनटू आर्ग्यूमेंट विद हिम। उसे पीसफुली जाने दो, क्योंकि जहाज लेके जा रहा है, उसके दिमाग पे प्रेशर नहीं होना चाहिए। ये भी जहाज ही है भाई। तो जब वो ड्यूटी पे आया है, उसने कोई गलती की है तो उस टाइम पे उसे क्वेश्चन मत करो, बिकॉज वो क्लाइंट के साथ जा रहा है। उसे पीसफुली जाने दो, शांति से जाने दो। एंड आई एम अ हार्ड बिलीवर कि हम अपने बिजनेस के साथ साथ अपने सारथी भाइयों का थोड़ा सा ध्यान दें तो शायद और ज़्यादा अच्छा ग्रो कर सकते हैं। एंड वी शुड गेट यूनाइटेड, जितने भाई लोग बैठे हैं सब मिलके, वी शुड हैव अ कंबाइंड यूनिट वेयर वी कैन हैव बजट्स, कि कहीं किसी भी ड्राइवर के साथ कुछ ऐसा हो जाता है, एक अकेले के लिए शायद बारी है, बट अगर वहाँ पे एक हमारे पास कंबाइंड वो है तो वहाँ से वी कैन टेक अप्रूवल एंड हेल्प दैट गाय,
इवन देयर फैमिलीज,
ऑल टुगेदर। तो जो हमारे पास अच्छे ड्राइवर्स की ब्रीड खत्म हो रही है, वो आएगी, लोग कहेंगे कि नहीं यार ऐसा नहीं है मेरे साथ, उसके साथ समस्या हुई थी, पूरी इंडस्ट्री ने इसको मदद की, उसके बच्चों का वेलफेयर भी देखा, सब कुछ हुआ, तो इनिशिएटिव और अच्छे लोग आना शुरू करेंगे। आई एम ए वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग बिलीवर, मतलब रिजेक्ट करने के लिए भाई के पास हैं, यहाँ तो मिलते ही नहीं है। आज की तारीख में ड्राइवर, आप मेरे ख्याल से राजेश जी नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि इनका जुगाड़ दूसरा है, बट 90% ऑपरेटर्स के साथ ये है कि उनकी फ्लीट में 20 या 25% गाड़ियाँ सिर्फ इसलिए खड़ी रहती हैं कि उनके पास अच्छे ड्राइवर्स नहीं हैं। मैं बहुत सारे लोगों के बीच में बैठता हूँ जो ट्रांसपोर्टर्स हैं, एंड बड़ा रेगुलर फीडबैक आता है। और हमारे कुछ भाइयों ने देन दे टुक इनिशिएटिव एंड ड्राइवर ट्रेनिंग और ड्राइवर डेवलपमेंट की एसोसिएशन भी खोली हैं, और पीपल आर वर्किंग ऑन दैट। ईटा प्लेटफॉर्म से हम कोशिश ये कर रहे हैं कि सारथी भाइयों को, ड्राइवर भाई, मैं जितनी जिस फॉर्म में जाता हूँ, आई एम ट्राइंग एंड आई हैव स्पोकन टू आईटो एंड अदर एसोसिएशन ऑल्सो। पहले होता था कि ड्राइवर्स के लिए दे यूज्ड टू हैव डोरमेट्री और सम प्रोविजन इन एवरी 5-स्टार होटल। आपको पता है आज की तारीख में अगर आपका ड्राइवर किसी दिल्ली के 5 स्टार में चला जाए, वो पोर्च पे खड़ा रहता है 1 घंटे गेस्ट के इंतजार में, पर अगर उसे कहीं फ्रेश होना है और उसे कोई परेशानी आ गई तो उसके पास कोई स्कोप नहीं है। उस बिल्डिंग के अंदर वो घुस नहीं सकता, बाहर आसपास कुछ होता नहीं। क्या हमारी इतने बुद्धिजीवियों में किसी ने उनके बारे में भी सोचा है कभी? डेस्टिनेशन जाना होता है तो ड्राइवर भैया होता है, भैया आप आराम से चलना। डेस्टिनेशन पहुंचने के बाद किसी ने सोचा है कि वो ड्राइवर 4 दिन आपके साथ है, आप तो चेक इन करके होटल में चले गए, क्या उस होटल में उसमें ठहरने के लिए उसके लिए कुछ है? वो कहाँ जाएगा, क्या खाएगा, क्या पिएगा? यू हार्डली थिंक अबाउट इट।
इसमें सतीश साहब, आई वुड लाइक टू से,
आई नो इट्स नॉट द फोरम फॉर ड्राइवर।
नहीं, मैं यही कह रहा हूँ, आई एग्री विद ईच एंड एवरी पॉइंट ऑफ योर्स। एंड यू नो, मैं शेयर करना चाहूँगा, मैं इतना ज़्यादा रेजोनेट कर रहा हूँ, मुझे इतनी खुशी मिल रही है, बिकॉज यू नो वी ऑल्सो हायर अ लॉट ऑफ कार्स। और हमारे यहाँ पर ना प्रोटोकॉल है, अगर ड्राइवर साहब आते हैं गाड़ी लेके, मैंने आई मेड अ वीडियो कि ये पार्किंग है, यहाँ पे गाड़ी लगानी है, रिवर्स करके लगानी है, और इमीडिएटली देयर इज अ प्रोटोकॉल, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड बोलेगा आप अंदर आएगा कि वो आगे हैं, वैसे सीसीटीवी में दिख जाता है, उसके लिए चाय बिस्किट, और अगर ब्रेकफास्ट नहीं गया ब्रेकफास्ट, वो वॉशरूम ऊपर 2nd फ्लोर पे है, जाना है तो, और अगर कोई कई बार कुछ सीनियर्स भी आते हैं वो जाने में आते हैं तो देयर इज अ पब्लिक वॉशरूम ऑल्सो अराउंड द कॉर्नर। देन द अदर थिंग, यू नो, आई टेल यू, जो हमारा स्टाफ भी है, एंड इवन दीज ड्राइवर, लाइक आई हायर कार्स फ्रॉम वन कंपनी ओनली, और वहाँ भी आई हैव गिवन द लिस्ट कि ये अजीत, आई कैन टेल यू नेम्स, कि ये अजीत है, ये विजय है, और एक ये राम है। ये 3 हो तो इन तीनों में से किसी को भेज देना, वरना मुझे पूछना कि किसको भेज रहे हो, स्पेशली व्हेन द फैमिली इज गोइंग। इवन टुडे मॉम केम, तो मैंने वहीं से गाड़ी मंगाई। अदर पॉइंट, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट देयर हेल्थ ना, बाय द वे वी ऑल्सो हैव अ पैथ लैब इन वसंत विहार। आधे से ज़्यादा वसंत विहार, आधे ज़्यादा साउथ दिल्ली हमारे पास ही आती है, बट वी ऑल्सो डू सेवा एंड गुरुद्वारा साहब वसंत विहार, वहाँ हमारा सैम्पल कलेक्शन होती है एट कॉस्ट प्राइस। वी डोंट चार्ज फ्री, बिकॉज उसमें ना फिर वो क्वालिटी नहीं आ पाती, पर कोई अगर बहुत ही आता है BPL, वी डू फ्री ऑल्सो। तो जितने भी ये लोग हैं, ड्राइवर्स हैं, हमारा स्टाफ है, उनको हमने बोला हुआ है, कोई भी आपका टेस्ट है, यू कम टू अस, वी विल चार्ज जस्ट कॉस्ट प्राइस। तो वो इतने खुश हो जाते हैं ना, मतलब उनको लगता है कि मतलब आपको लगेगा कि आपने उनको जीत लिया, क्योंकि उनको ये बेसिक चीज़ें नहीं मिलती हैं। क्योंकि बीइंग इन द फील्ड इन द मेडिकल ऑल्सो, आई नो कितनी मारा मारी है मेडिकल टेस्टिंग को लेके। हमारे पास स्पेशलिस्ट भी आते हैं, मेदांता की कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट आती है, मतलब किसी को प्रॉब्लम हो, किसी के घर वाले, फादर मदर, मतलब मेदांता स्पेशलिस्ट विल कम टू आवर सेंटर एंड सी हिम और हर। तो उनको लगता है यार उनका दिन ही बन गया, देन वो हम भी उनके फेवरेट हो जाते हैं। मतलब एक दूसरे को जीतने वाली बात है, बिकॉज योर फैमिली इज ट्रैवलिंग विद देम, आप थोड़ा सा उनके लिए आगे जाओ, वो पूरा आगे आते हैं आपके लिए।
बिल्कुल
सर, आप जैसे कितने लोग हैं?
वी नीड टू स्प्रेड द,
नहीं, मेरी इसमें सोच थोड़ी सी अलग है। मेरे साथ जितने बैठे हैं सारे बहुत बड़े बड़े प्लेयर्स हैं, सब बड़े बड़े कॉर्पोरेट्स के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, एंड डोंट आस्क मी कि वो कौन सा होता है, बट देयर इज अ फंड विद एवरी कॉर्पोरेट विच दे हैव टू स्पेंड फॉर सच थिंग्स। हम में से कितने लोगों ने उस कॉर्पोरेट को अप्रोच किया है कि सर इस साल अपने फंड में से थोड़ा सा बजट निकाल के एक ड्राइवर्स का कैंप लगवा दो? कांट वी हैव अ स्मॉल आई टेस्टिंग कैंप? सबसे जरूरी हमारे ड्राइवर्स के लिए आंखें हैं, और कॉर्पोरेट्स के पास पैसे हैं।
आप बताओ, हम करते हैं अपने वहाँ पे।
सर एक से नहीं होगा ना,
लेट्स स्टार्ट ना,
द इनिशिएटिव हैज टू कम। वी शुड अप्रोच NASSCOM, जो इनकी जनरल बॉडी है, एंड वी शुड पुट अवर फिट एंड से दैट कि नो दिस हैज टू बी डन, एंड व्हाई यू स्पेंडिंग इट ऑन अदर थिंग्स? व्हाई कांट यू स्पेंड ऑन द पर्सन हु इज गिविंग यू सर्विस? उस बंदे के लिए क्यों नहीं जो दिन रात आपके लिए कर रहा है?
डन। इनफैक्ट हमारा
आई बीन ट्रैवलिंग अ लॉट। मैं अभी राजेश भाई से बात कर रहा था, ITTA इज दी हमारा जो टूर ऑपरेटर्स की एसोसिएशन है। मैं बाहर कहीं भी जाता हूँ, वी ट्रैवल इन बसेस, और जब भी ग्रुप्स होते हैं तो वहाँ सबसे पहली चीज़ होती है उस ग्रुप के बस के ड्राइवर का होटल बुक में कमरा बुक होता है कि वो उस होटल में ही ठहरेगा जिसमें एक ग्रुप ठहर रहा है। तो आई एम ट्राइंग हार्ड ITTA को उस प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाने के लिए कि इस तरह का कोई पैकेज और ऐसा कुछ हो, तो पहले ड्राइवर के बारे में सोचें, एंड मेरे बाकी भाई भी सोचे। थैंक यू।
फैंटास्टिक। सो द मैसेज इज क्लियर, लेट्स थिंक अबाउट द ड्राइवर हु ड्राइव्स द बिजनेस। तो दोस्तों भी लंच लगा हुआ है, एंड हमने काफ़ी एम्प्टी स्टमक्स को रोका हुआ है। सो वी विल हैव क्विक की टेक अवे ऑफ एवरी स्पीकर, एंड देन वी विल रैप अप। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद यू हरि जी ऑन दैट।
जैसे सतीश जी ने बताया कि ड्राइवर्स या जो हमारे शॉफर्स हैं वो हमारे बिजनेस के एक्चुअल ड्राइवर्स वही हैं। सो इसके लिए सबसे पहले हम सबको क्या करना चाहिए कि कुछ अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूशन सेटअप करें जहाँ से पढ़े लिखे एज ए प्रोफेशनल ड्राइवर, जैसे हम पायलट तैयार करते हैं एयरलाइंस के लिए, ऐसे ड्राइवर हमारे पास आएँ और हम उन सब का वही ध्यान रखें। फॉर एग्जांपल हमने कुछ इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं, मेडिकल पॉलिसी वी ऑफर टू ईच ऑफ आर ड्राइवर 5 लाख रुपए की, वो पहला इनिशिएटिव है। हम उसको 10 लाख रुपए का दुर्घटना बीमा भी देते हैं जब वो हमारे साथ एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम कंप्लीट कर लेता है, 45 डेज़ का वो क्यूरेटिंग टाइम है। तो इस तरह के कुछ इनिशिएटिव हमने लिए हैं और ये हमारी इंडस्ट्री के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है, सो दैट वी कैन रिटेन दोज ड्राइवर्स, दे कैन वर्क विद अस फॉर लॉन्गर पीरियड्स. Once their family needs are taken care of, their medical needs are taken care of, they'll put 200% to drive that business.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Sandeep, your key takeaway?
No, being on this business, I can tell you, I agree with him. It's a man and machine combination where the man is more important. Money brings in the capital for the machine, but the man is clearly more important. We've seen the person driving is the business getter. Actually, a bad driver can get you a customer, or more importantly, companies like you know what, Rajesh and the others service. I will not say Oryx because I've left that company 2 years back, but you've got me into a discussion on that business. But the person sitting behind many times is a decision maker, and that is even more important. And what we've seen is more and more companies are realizing this. You mentioned about Uber. If you take an Uber, you complain, you can go to their call center, they'll not hear. You sit in an Uber Black, that's where the difference is, because the person sitting in an Uber Black again is somebody who could be, even if the trip is bad, it doesn't hurt Uber. But still that kind of, like what Hari is trying to say, that they're trying to inculcate that feeling of service into the customer. I mean, it's a 400 rupee trip, you don't come tomorrow, it doesn't matter. But somebody like an Eco would understand, the guy may lose your 25 lakh rupee account just by not giving that service.
True. Much larger stakes.
Yeah.
So, Sachin, your key takeaway?
I would say retain your entire value chain. Business and other fundamentals will fall in place. That's
Beautiful. Beautiful line. Rajesh?
And I would always say, take care of your people. And if you really take care of your people, they'll take care of your clients. Yeah, they'll take care of you, they'll take care of your clients. Yeah. That's what the last mile delivery service is always by people.
So I can see, so actually you're resonating your father's words only, Captain Loomba sahab. So that's how the businesses grow also. If you really are focused on business, focus on the people first, business will surely take care of itself. And I'm sure nobody is that bad at business, at managing cost, at managing cost cutting. वो तो सबको आ ही जाता है. People skills में हम पीछे कई बार रह जाते हैं. But if that is figured, we've done the difficult part. Satish ji, last few words.
सर बस अपना तो यही है कि अपने धंधे के साथ ईमानदार हो. Be honest to your work will be honest to you.
Perfect. Fantastic, friends. So on that note, it's a wrap. And friends, it's an open invitation. अब जो हम यहाँ अच्छी अच्छी बातें कर रहे हैं कि हम ये क्लिनिक करेंगे, वो आई टेस्टिंग करेंगे, बॉडी चेक करेंगे, फिट, वी हैव लॉट्स ऑफ, वी कैन हेल्प यू डू दैट. We have a path lab in Vasant Vihar. We can pioneer, we can collaborate. So that जब next yellow plate dialogue हो, तो फिर से सिर्फ ये वाली बातें ना हो. हम ये बोलें कि हमने किया था, ये हो रहा है, ये रेगुलर होता है, ये सब बातें करें. इतने लोगों को फ़ायदा हो गया, इतनी फैमिलीज़ को फ़ायदा हुआ. We touched so many lives. We should say that and not again say कि हम करेंगे, हम सोच रहे हैं या ऐसा होना चाहिए. So on that note, Deepti, the floor is yours.
If you're in tandem with the thoughts of our fantastic panelists out here and you have been provoked enough, then please show lots of love for all of them. Thank you so much. I'm truly moved and I hope that ये जो हिंदी का हमारा भूतकाल है वो भविष्य में परिवर्तित हो, and we go ahead with a lot of positivity and like Anuj sir said that हमने किया था, किया है और कर रहे हैं. That's a beautiful thought actually to conclude. And here I would like our fantastic panelists to be felicitated, and to do the honors, let me call on stage representatives from MG, Skoda and Volkswagen. Can we have them quickly here on stage? Okay, and to begin with, let me call forward Mr. Satish Sehrawat. Sir, Owner 10 Travels and President ITTA. Fantastic to hear from you, sir. And all smiles. The energies can definitely go up. I know you all are hungry, but burn more calories and then intake more. Okay, next I will bring forth Mr. Rajesh Loomba, Chairman, Eco Mobility. Sir. Lovely. Next, let me call forward Mr. Sachin Punni, Director, Volercars. Many congratulations to you, sir. Let me call forward Mr. Hari Kaushik, CEO, WTI Fleet Pro. Such a lovely, innocent smile he has. Can we have a huge round of applause for him again? Thank you. Next, let me call Mr. Sandeep Gambhir, CEO, Vertelo. And may I request all of you to come forward for a group photograph?
Yellow Plate Dialogues powered by Skoda.